Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Listening Corner. In this video, you will practice your English with a real story and a mini lesson at the end. Listening to stories is one of the best ways to improve your English because you don't just learn single words, you hear them in real situations. Here's what I recommend. First, listen carefully and focus on understanding the main ideas. Second, pause and repeat the sentences out loud. This will help you with pronunciation and fluency. Finally, pay attention to the useful expressions we will review at the end. Are you ready? Let's begin our story, A Trip to London. Part 1, The Arrival. My name is Maria, and last summer I finally made one of my dreams come true. I traveled to London. It was my first time visiting the city, and honestly, I felt both excited and nervous. The very first thing that caught my eye was a bright red double-decker bus. Of course, I had seen them in movies and pictures, but standing there in front of one felt completely different. I didn't think twice. I bought a ticket and went straight to the upper deck. From there, I had an incredible view of the streets. I passed by famous landmarks, Big Ben, the Houses of Parliament, and the River Thames glistening in the sunlight. When I finally reached Trafalgar Square, I decided to get off. The square was alive with tourists, street performers, and the massive lion statues that seemed to guard the place. Later, I found a cozy little cafe on a corner. I ordered a cup of tea and sat by the window, watching people rush by. For a moment, I thought, I'm really here. I'm in London. It felt surreal. Part 2, Exploring the City. The next morning, I woke up early with a long list of places to see. My first destination was the Tower of London. Walking through its ancient stone walls gave me the impression of stepping back in time. During the guided tour, I tried to keep up with the guide's explanations. He spoke quickly, but I managed to understand most of it. He told us about the legend of the ravens. According to tradition, if the ravens ever leave the tower, the entire kingdom will collapse. I couldn't help but smile at the idea of birds holding the fate of a nation. From there, I walked across Tower Bridge. The architecture was stunning, with its tall towers and blue steel beams. At one point, the bridge opened for a ship to pass, and I stood there amazed. I had never witnessed something like that before. It was both impressive and a little magical. Later in the day, I joined some friends for a picnic in Hyde Park. We sat on the grass, shared food, and talked about our cultures. For me, it was the perfect opportunity to practice my English in a natural way. I noticed that the more I spoke, the more confident I became. Part 3, An Unexpected Adventure. On my last day in London, I decided to visit a street market. Unfortunately, I took the wrong bus and ended up in an unfamiliar neighborhood. For a few minutes, I felt lost and even a little anxious. Finally, I approached a woman on the street and said, "Excuse me, could you help me find Camden Market?" She was very kind and gave me detailed directions. She even added, "Don't worry, it's just around the corner. You can't miss it." Following her instructions, I arrived at the market. The place was vibrant, stalls full of handmade jewelry, vintage clothes, exotic food, and live music. It was loud, colorful, and full of energy. As I walked through the narrow alleys, I realized something important. Even though my English wasn't perfect, I was able to communicate, ask for help, and understand the answers. That gave me a deep sense of accomplishment. I bought some souvenirs, took my last photos of the trip, and promised myself I would come back to London one day. Mini class, useful expressions. Great job! Now let's take a moment to look at some useful expressions from today's story. I'll say each one slowly. Repeat after me, and then listen to the explanation. 1. It felt surreal. This means it was so amazing or unusual that it felt almost unreal. 2. I didn't think twice. This means you acted quickly, without hesitation. 3. I managed to understand. Even though it was difficult, you succeeded in understanding. 4. I couldn't help but smile. You were not able to stop yourself from smiling. 5. I had never witnessed something like that before. A strong way to say you experienced something new for the first time. 6. The more I spoke, the more confident I became. A useful structure for showing progress with practice. 7. I ended up in an unfamiliar neighborhood. This means you arrived somewhere you didn't plan to go. 8. Don't worry, you can't miss it. People say this when something is very easy to find. 9. It was loud, colorful, and full of energy. A way to describe a lively place with 3 adjectives together. 10. That gave me a deep sense of accomplishment. A phrase for describing pride after achieving something. Practice these expressions again and try to imagine real situations where you could use them. Excellent work today. Remember, learning English takes time, but every single step counts. Listen again, repeat the sentences, and try to use these expressions in your own conversations. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the Listening Corner. I'll see you in the next story.